We are back with another project car build. In this case, it's actually a project truck. This is the RAM TRX. When it comes to performance, especially on the 707 horsepower engine that comes in the TRX, breathing is important, and how the engine can suck that air in makes a world of difference. We are going to be installing a brand new AFE intake system on the truck. We want to show you guys how this intake looks and fits. Before we jump into the install of the intake, just want to point out a couple things that we've done, but we actually haven't documented yet. First and foremost is our VR forged wheels. This is a one-piece forged monoblock wheel that we make specifically for the TRX fitment. This is a 20x9, and on this we do have the Toyo tires, 37-inch tires, the MTs for some massive tread. This is a front and rear setup at a 12mm offset, so even with the stock fender flares, this sits very nice on there. We did some side steps, some nice drop down side steps for the lazy old self as you get older. We also added this new front bumper. This is the front bumper from Evil Off-Road. It is called the Pure Evil bumper, and it's pretty cool. It's got a bunch of slots here so you can put different size lights. I believe we're gonna get some big old funky Baja designs put on there, which we'll probably do in another episode soon so you can see how bright these things are. The only thing with this front bumper is you do have to cut and modify the actual bumper stop beam frame. I don't know what it's called. So we had to cut that and weld on caps there. So it definitely changes that front end. You can see it's much shorter and kind of gives it a cool new look. Back to the main course of action here. It is the AFE intake. It replaces all of these components. This is the factory radiator shroud, engine cover, intake box, everything right here. It's a lot of stuff. And you can see here, it is quite empty without the intake, just the big old blower sitting right there. In case you are new to the TRX world, the RAM TRX people and Raptor people do not exactly associated, and RAM wanted to make that apparent. That is a TRX right there with a Raptor in its mouth. As a Raptor owner, I don't know if I find that offensive or not, but it doesn't matter because today we are TRX people. Whether you like the TRX or the Raptor, you can definitely let us know down there in the comments. Now it's time to get to the unboxing of the AFE intake. So this is AFE's Momentum GT intake, a full intake replacement for the RAM. If you want to see more pictures and info about this intake, link down there, click the card, you'll go right to the intake on our website. This is probably the biggest intake I've ever seen in all 22 years of doing that because of how massive this supercharged engine is. We've got packing material, don't need it. No more packing work too, don't need it. Okay, first we have AFE reusable high flow filters. When filters are spec'd out for intake systems, you look at the overall surface area of how much airflow is going to be able to get into that intake based upon the horsepower of the engine. You cannot put little tiny 3-inch cone filters like on your Honda Civic. This is a full-size, massive filter. Boom, dirt gets there, you still get great filtration. It is a full, I don't know what they call it, 3D, but here's the front inlet, so you get air all around, plus in the inlet. And like any aftermarket intake, especially AFEs, this is a totally reusable, recleanable air filter. You do not need to buy another air filter for your entire life. You just have to clean this thing with any type of air cleaner kit and oil spray. So we've got 2 filters. Perfect, just what we need. AFE does rotomold plastic injection. So most of the air intakes that you see for trucks, cars, they're all rotomold. Basically is they have these CNC aluminum molds, and they design those molds, they pour in this plastic, and these molds just go round and round and round. And what you get out is a part like this. You can see there's a seam here. These are extremely lightweight, very good for heat. Obviously, metal intakes will conduct more heat compared to this high rotomold plastic stuff. Looks like we got a breather line here and a great section to put your clamps on for your couplers. Not that this is under pressure, so you don't have to worry about blowing off, but a good seal so you don't have any issues with, of course, dirt. We've got another rotomold plastic piece. And of course, with a lot of these parts, you can see it's very smooth inside, so you don't have any issues with turbulence. Obviously, the smoother airflow is, the better it travels. So we've got all the couplers and clamps here, using big, massive T-bar clamps, which really give you the look and feel that should go with the TRX. Not these little baby worm drives, but T-bar clamps. So we've got all the couplers in here, hoses, foam trim. That's what we're gonna connect all the dots with. this is the other side of the one we just showed you. So you got two. You got a left and you got a right. And this is gonna go into the massive intake box where the air is fed through the snorkel of the Ram. Go figure, it is the Ram air intake. This is the full replacement. And this must have been one massive mold that they're using. You can see the air filters are gonna go inside this box. You've got the big scoop that connects to the hood. So this thing's probably gonna sit somewhere like, I don't know, something like this. You're gonna have the funnel with the rubber duct closed from the hood, and then you have the two pipes either side coming in with the filters. These are gonna go inside the box, and then this is gonna go connect into the throttle body connection with that main tube. So you're gonna have everything slide in, boom, filters in there. Just kind of give you the look of it. So you can see there's one on the side there. This piece is gonna split either side of those as they connect on the bottom, and this is gonna go right to this supercharger, the inlet right there. We actually have it blocked off right now, but this goes below the intake. And then you have this massive new awesome intake. And I can only imagine later on when we drive this, what the sound is gonna sound like coming from these massive filters. Because anytime you put a new air intake on a vehicle, you hear that engine so much more. It's gonna have some serious noise changes, and it might even rival what the exhaust sounds like. These are the pieces that go with the AFE Momentum GT intake. Now we actually have to install it. So I'm gonna lose about 50 pounds and we're gonna put this thing in. Cannot believe how you hear this. It actually roars. You get the supercharger whine, you get the sucking, you've got the ultimate in beast mode, including that Meisterschaft exhaust. I want to pop this hood so you guys can actually see this thing installed. Dang. Everything is new. We still got the TRX eating the Raptor. I think it's time that we take the plastic off. Pa-pa-da-pa, pa-pa-pa-pa. There it is. You can even see the filters. That's something cool that AFE does that I don't think anyone else is doing. So there are the two filters, full intake box. It's actually sealed. So when you close the hood, you can see full sealed intake, either side, rubber fitting in there. This thing is just straight awesome. All right, so that is the install of the AFE intake on our Ram TRX project, but we're not done. Next up in our video series, we're gonna be doing some bright lights, really getting the front end to go with our evil off-road performance bumper. So make sure you stay tuned for that and subscribe so you can see our next video. Appreciate you guys watching. If you have any questions, leave a comment below, give us a like, and as always, we will see you at the next one.